Hey everyone, I'm Wyrmlad Gaming. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to Monster Legends. Welcome to the Wyrmlad Creator Birthday Monster Special Event video. So if you saw the previous video, you would know there's currently an event where we can basically create our own monster. That's right, the community gets to create a monster. Now the monster design is already there, but we get to choose the skills, the relics, this book season, the trait, all of that great stuff that goes into a monster. And so socialpoint is doing this because it is their 5th anniversary birthday event. So we all get to take fun in the festivities. So also, just a minor plug here, for those of you that don't know, June is actually my birthday month. So I actually made new merch and there's going to be a link in the description. There's also a 10% discount for the month of June if you want to check it out. With that being said, there's also in the description, you can find the links to the official socialpoint forum, the official socialpoint Discord, and the official socialpoint Facebook page if you want to participate in this monster creation event. And I highly recommend you do, because not only do you get a chance to see your own monster idea in the game, furthermore you get to see yourself in my video because I'm going to be going through all of this, so make sure you do that. And with all that being said, let us begin. We now have 60 comments and I left off right here on Uchiha, and let's see, he thinks the trait should be anticipation and trait disable. Status caster AoE trait disable. Oh, I feel like that's too powerful. You start the game off and the enemies have their traits just gone. A little too powerful there. Special skill, AoE positive effect removal, trait disable, massive damage, applies evasion to our allies. I think we're seeing a lot of players really want this AoE positive effect removal, especially because we know we're facing Elvira's in the light category. Let's continue. I think Wyrmlad should have Dragon Hater for our allies, and here's another current theme we've been seeing. A lot of players agree Wyrmlad should have some sort of Dragon Hater, whether it's a trait, whether it's a skill. But let's keep going. And a group attack with 65. I don't think we've seen any AoE 65 on a regular skill. For ultimates, yeah. For a regular skill, I think 50, maybe 55 is the highest. Status caster, 100% damage to our allies for one turn. Okay, that's not bad. Attack 37, very powerful. Very tanky. Speed 3467. 150 stamina, that's slightly unusual. And the ult is a group attack of 120 stamina with insulation, combustion, and blind. Insulation, I think ignition, combustion, and blind. Or maybe that's supposed to be burning, ignition, and blind, maybe sunburn. But let's keep going. I feel that Wyrmlad should be something like this. Strength 3619. I think another common theme we're seeing is that in terms of a light attacker, Wyrmlad should have one of the highest, if not the highest, in the light category. Life 37,000, also quite tanky. Speed 3509. These are pretty good stats. Like, these are stats I could definitely see being on this monster. Traits should be tough and status caster, area trait disable. Again, I personally think that's too powerful, but if you guys disagree with me, let me know in the comments below. What do you think about a status caster trait disable? I just don't see that happening. Like, can you imagine the game starts off, you fight 3 War Masters and their traits are just gone just like that? A little too powerful in my opinion. Alright, tier 1 skills. 30% power, special, single target applies possession, a single spammable possession. On a light monster, very interesting. 30 power, special base, single target, trait removal, and applies bleed. Self precision, damage boost, immediate extra turn. I love a skill like this. Basically, it's a self skill that gives you an immediate turn. You get to take advantage of whatever the self is. In this case, increased accuracy and increased damage. 40 power, special base, AoE trait disable, and applies bleed. So we're really going after the trait disabling ability with this monster. Removes positive effects, possession, applies blind. Let's see, 50 power, light based, single target attack that causes total blind to one enemy, AoE double damage and positive effect protection for one turn to our allies. So basically the enemy is not going to be able to get rid of the double damage. 70 power, light attack that applies total blind and bleed to one enemy, and it is spammable. Nice. 40 special based AoE that removes positive effects, applies trait disable, and applies total blind. Very powerful. Very powerful, right? It's basically like Myrak, but on steroids, because this also traits disable. Because, you know, Myrak can remove positive effects and total blind, but this monster also trait disable. And again, similar to the trait, I would kind of argue that, I personally feel that the positive effect and trait disable on an AoE, that's a little too powerful, just because there is seriously no counter on defense, right? If you fight a Remtar, a Ragnarok, whatever they place with their status caster, the fact that you can remove it and then disable their traits, that's slightly too powerful. But let's keep going. 50% power AoE that applies bleed, nightmares, and total blind. Nice, you'd be able to use Nish and Sword if you have it. And then bleed and nightmares, that's good DOT. And total blind, so they're gonna miss their next attack. 80 power light attack that applies true vision to our allies and gives 1 extra turn. Very, very powerful. 80 damage. You also get true vision. Your whole team gets true vision, so they're not going to miss their attacks anymore. And you give yourself an extra turn, which can go into one of these other crazy skills, like the AoE trade disable. Applies evasion, double damage, and true vision, and get... I don't get this one. Why would you give yourself evasion if you're just going to give yourself an extra turn? That kind of cancels out. But again, like, even if you do this skill right here, you have double damage and true vision, this 80 damage becomes 160 damage, and then you can still use a powerful AoE. One of these 40 damage AoEs or whatever the AoE, yeah. Like, a little too powerful in my opinion. 60 power special AoE, yeah, especially after double damaging true vision, way too powerful. And removes positive effects and trade disable. This looks like an alt to me. This is like definitely alt material. I remember everything. Removes positive effects from all enemies, removes trade disable, and removes traits. Applies total blind to all enemies, gives triple damage and true vision 1 extra turn. So this is basically this skill on steroids. Let's keep going. The Good Legion, Lyda, Elite Adventure, Sword and Mask Relic. Wyrmlad was an adventurer that was praised by everyone, but one day lost all his memories, so to pure side, so he searched far and wide the person who made him lose all his memories and killed him. Okay, yeah. Sorry if he's too overpowered, underpowered. I would say he's slightly overpowered. Yeah, I definitely go to the overpowered side. Alright, Sam. Roll attacker or support. Skills of Fury, default skills, Awakening, resurrects one ally. Wait, what? I feel like I've seen this before. Wait, resurrects one ally with 50% life. Wait, have I not seen this before? Let me scroll up. I know for a fact I've seen this somewhere before with the Awakening. Was it right here? Awakening, where was it? Alright, here it is on Pedro. Resurrects one ally with 50% life. It's called Awakening too. So I don't know if that's a coincidence or I don't know if they're just... if some people are taking skills from other people, but who knows? Let's keep going. Gives 1 extra turn. Triple Trouble. Deals low light damage to an enemy 3 times. Oh wait, you know what? This sounds super familiar. This is literally what Pedro commented. You know what? Actually, if I'm not mistaken, isn't this what was originally announced when we saw this monster on Taringa for the first time? We'll come back to this. If we see it again, we'll be like, that's too suspicious. Alright, but let's keep going. We have my version. Oh, several versions. So an attacker. Tough and Dragon Hater. Again, that Dragon Hater is something, it's a theme that we keep seeing over and over. Sword and Armor or Mask and Armor. Dragon Superheroes exclusive Elite. No names because he's not that imaginative. Oh, it's alright. Alright, so we just have the effects. Moderate special damage to one enemy, 50% chance of burn, 50% chance of blind, and total blind all enemies. Okay. Group 2 deals heavy special damage to one enemy, applies burn and blind, requires cooldown, 50 damage. Heavy light damage, disables trait on one enemy, requires cooldown, 50 damage. Applies life regen and stamina regen. I've seen that before too, I feel like. But this is 0 cooldown, but high stamina cost. Yeah, super high stamina cost, but I guess since you get stamina regen and life regen, it's okay. Deals moderate special damage, applies burn and blind to everyone. That's pretty nice. This is an Egg Eater skill, throwback. Deals moderate light damage, trait disable all enemies. Okay. Removes positive effects from one enemy, deals heavy metal damage. Oh, I think you are the first to introduce a different elemental attack, so I like that. Deals very heavy metal damage, 60 damage, no cooldown, so spammable skill right here that also removes positive effects. I like that. Skill group 4, applies double damage and precision 1 extra turn. Ooh, the next attack will be powerful. Deals insane light damage, applies burn. So this is like your OTK combo right here, 160 damage. Blocks all damage except light on itself, applies taunt to itself. I love this. I love the fact that he became some sort of tank. Block all damage except light on itself, and applies taunt. Nice. And disables trait on all enemies, deals heavy special damage, applies total blind to all enemies, requires cooldown. And then the ultimate, removes positive effects from all enemies, deals heavy special damage, applies burn, ignite, and sunburn. This is the kind of ultimate an attacker has, where I'm going to clear your buffs, I'm going to deal special attack, and here's all these DLTs. I like it. I like this a lot. This definitely is more on the balanced side from what I've seen. Let's keep going. People, you do know you're giving out ideas for monsters that were probably... Oh, come on, don't be negative. Come on. Let's keep going. Alright, Simon, my pal Simon. Let's see what Simon does. If you don't know Simon, he's the one that's let me use his account several times to make videos. He gets a bunch of the maze monsters, especially at high levels. And Simon And then Simon also spends a lot of time creating monsters on his own time and posting them on Facebook. So let's see what he has in store for Wyrmlad. Oh, and Simon really loves the Monster Legends lore, so that's why we have an essay right here. Alright, Wyrmlad, Legendary Light Elite. Draco's friend and one of the finest guardians of the Winter Citadel, Wyrmlad is an honorable warrior, exquisite in strategy and fair in judgment, who by slaying the fearsome basilisk of Baron Baronlands arose from a mere soldier to a position of a marshal, Shademoon's formal title, which he decided to sacrifice for the sake of his duty to hunt down the malicious spirit known as Fognar. Though many considered his life to be perfect, Wyrmlad heavily disagreed. He despises how comfortable his life has become. All he really gets to do these days is receiving praise and just standing by the Citadel's entrance looking intimidating and nothing more. To put it bluntly, he was bored. He envied Shademoon, and he also started looking for a new adventure. However, right after passing down the responsibilities of a marshal to some powerful mysterious monster he didn't even know, just that she came from a distant realm and that her name was Frostica, he realized that it really wasn't much for him to do. The War Masters are keeping practically everything in perfect order. Refuel, he returned to his mountain lair ready to succumb into sadness when he noticed a half-frozen letter by the door. It was a message from Dracor. He needed his help to get his vengeance on the Dragon Alliance. Wyrmlad instantly remembered how horrible his old friend has been treated. Fury but also pure joy erupted within him. After all, he'll at long last reunite with his comrade as well as so finally get the adventure he so desperately wanted. Giddy and determined, Wyrmlad embarked on his journey to the floating islands of Monster Legends. I absolutely love it, Simon. Absolutely love it. Alright, books, you are in Dragons, Winter, Superheroes, and Elite, Essence, and Banner. Oh, nice. So, the first to not use an armor or sword like I've been seeing, or mask, so giving him the Essence and the Banner. I feel like that's more strategic. Essence, again, the Revival Essence, and then Banner being able to take advantage of a Charging Banner, or even of Italica's Banner. Let's keep going. Power 3663, Life 38, and Speed 30. This is actually pretty balanced and well within the realm of what I could see in Monster Legends. Trait, immunity to freeze, and protect positive effects, plus a status caster, area trait protection. And this goes back to the note, trait protection does actually exist. Charizard and O'Reilly can apply it randomly with positive effects status. So keep in mind, one of the conditions is you can't make up new skills, new effects, new traits. It has to be stuff that exists in the game. And so Simon wants to introduce an area trait protection and immunity to freeze in the light category. Keep in mind there is a light monster. There is a light legendary monster that can freeze. That would be what's her name? That would be Psycha. So this actually could be useful, although I don't see her that much in the game. So then the unique thing we have here is the immunity to freeze in the light category. There is a monster that can freeze. I believe her name is Psycha. She has AoE freeze if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the status caster is what I'm more interested about. But let's see what we have. Let's go to the ultimate. Spirit of the Basilisk removes positive status effects from all enemies, applies damage boost to itself, applies total blind and sunburn to all enemies, deals very heavy special damage to all enemies. So the enemy lose whatever positive effects they may have. You give yourself a little buff. You also total blind and sunburn the enemies. So total blind, with total blind, they'll miss their next attack. With sunburn, their accuracy will be reduced by 15% and they'll lose HP. And you also deal a whopping 65 special damage. But keep in mind, you have the damage boost, so it's going to be 50% stronger. So just things to keep in mind. It'll deal an extra 37.5, so it's well over 100 special base damage to all of the enemy monsters. Alright, skills group 1, Chilled Thrust deals moderate, 35 special damage to one enemy, 50% chance of applying freeze to all enemies. And so I like this. Simon is giving Wyrmlad some freezing abilities, and again, when I see this monster, I can definitely see him being like in the Winter book and having freeze skills. Ally of the Flame removes all positive effects from one enemy, applies fire weakness to all enemies. Dragonian Zeal applies damage boost to itself, deals moderate 35 light damage to one enemy. Skills group 2, let's see, removes all negative status effects from itself, applies damage protection and torture immunity, and you give yourself an immediate extra turn. I think the torture immunity is very valuable, especially in the current meta where just about every single monster doesn't just do one torture effect at you, they throw out so many at you. So that can definitely prove to be useful. And then damage protection will obviously also help. Deals heavy 50% special damage to an enemy, applies freeze to the target. Deals very heavy 55 light damage, applies blind and daze. With blind and daze, the enemy monsters will pretty much be missing the whole time. Frostbitten Lance deals very heavy 60 damage, applies mega freeze and sunburn to target. So if you can't kill the monster, at least they'll be frozen for 2 turns. Go Forth and Fear Nothing removes all negative effects from itself, applies precision and torture immunity to all allies. So upgraded version skills group 2. And deals 50 light-based damage to the enemy. I like this a lot. Once again, torture immunity, Very, very, very helpful. Dracor's Confederate removes positive effects from all enemies, deals moderate 40 special damage to all enemies, applies bleeding and fire weakness to all targets. So are we going to have some fire-based attacks on this monster? Let's find out. Skills Group 4. Removes negative effects from all allies, applies damage boost and life regen to all allies, deals 45 special base damage to all enemies, applies true vision to itself, removes all positive effects from one enemy, deals massive 70 light damage, applies total blind. Make my soul your own, resurrects one fallen ally with 50% life and stamina, applies evasion and evasion and positive effects protection to target ally, gives one extra turn to target ally. This is a really, really great skill in my personal opinion. And moving on, deals heavy 50 light damage to all enemies, applies total blind and mega freeze to all enemies. Definitely worth for a rank 4 skill. So overall, I would say this is actually not... So I always punk on Simon because he makes very overpowered monsters. From what I see here, this is definitely something I can see in the realm of Monster Legends. Simon didn't really go the Dragon Hater route. I do love how... And actually, I just noticed it. Several people have done this before. The fire weakness... This works because, especially if in the Monster Legends lore, this monster is really great friends with Dracor. So if both monsters in the team together, basically Wyrmlad is setting up for Dracor to deal some impressive fire-based damage. So I like this one a lot. Definitely balanced, not overpowered like what I've seen from some other people. Although once again, because he is a light monster, I think we really want to see the ability to remove positive effects from the enemy. Which basically this does right here, removes positive effects from all enemies. But we also want to see some nanovirus ability. Or something that just prevents more positive effects, like positive effects blocked. But yeah, overall, I like that a lot. Rice in Pot, immunity to control. That's something I could definitely also see. Status caster, 1 turn double damage. Ooh, that's powerful. So he can't be controlled, and for the first turn, he's going to deal double damage. Very, very high strength stat. 38,000 power, 3621 strength, 3511 speed. Good Legion superheroes, let's see, Armor and Essence. And Dragon Slayer. Removes positive effects from all enemies, applies guard down so you are not missing, shock, ignition, sunburn, bleed. Man, just throw in every single DLT in there. And 65 special base damage to all enemies. Great ultimate. Stab wound, single target, let's see. 30 light damage, 50% chance of bleed. I'm coming for you, applies Dragon Hater. See, there's that Dragon Hater theme. Increased accuracy and damage boost. Applies stamina regen and health regen to itself. I've seen this a lot. A lot of people are using something similar to this, which is very interesting because it's something you don't see a lot. Let's keep going. Divine Light applies burn, ignition, sunburn to all enemies. Wow, that is super powerful. Super. So burn, ignition, sunburn, assuming they all land, that's going to take away like 50% of a monster's HP on the first turn, right? Sunburn is what? 10 or is it 15? Burn is 15, ignition is 20, that's 35. If sunburn is 10, that's 45. If it's 15, that's 50. And then 40 light damage, they're dead in 2 turns. I think this is a little too much. Applies bleeding to one enemy. 1 turn cooldown. Applies sunburn, blind, and daze. Oh, this is literally the ultimate you're gonna miss skill. So with sunburn, blind, and daze, accuracy is super reduced. It might as well be as total blind. And this even gives an extra turn, which you can then use Divine Lights. Alright, let's keep going. God's Wrath, 70 damage to one enemy, applies burn, ignition, sunburn. That enemy's dead. And it's spammable. This monster's OTKing easily. If not, the torture effects will take care of it. Out of my way applies bleeding to an enemy. 50. Wait, how's this skills group 3? Like, these are not even on the same level. Blinding Light removes positive effects from all enemies. Guard down to all enemies. Total blind. Wait, this is basically the ultimate. This is better than the ultimate because you gave yourself an extra turn. What the heck? Wait, did I read that right? Dragon Slayer removes positive effects. Guard down, guard down. So the only thing that's different is this one does not apply the shock, ignition, sunburn, or bleed. But it does total blind and then the extra turn. I would take this over the ultimate. Both of these are like ultimate material. Skills group 4. Deals 60 light damage, enemy loses 50 stamina, gains 50 stamina. I like that. And it's spammable, so... Wow, that's powerful. Have you heard the Tale of Death? Sunburn, burn, ignition, bleed, total blind to an enemy. 60 damage, yeah, that extra turn. Guys, we gotta calm down with extra turn skills. They can't be that powerful. Final Shot applies 2 turn double damage to itself. Applies stamina regen, health regen, dragon hater. Wow, that's so much. 1 extra turn. Wow, that's crazy. Again, a little too crazy. Applies special weakness to enemies, 50% special base damage. A little too crazy. Well, it's only because this is literally, if you guys don't remember, Darmit's bodyguard, the reason he was so powerful was because he basically had a skill like this. He had a skill that applied fire weakness before a fire-based AoE. This is basically it. And then let's see, the lore. There once was a happy young boy living in a small village with his family, but he wasn't so happy when a dragon came and killed everyone in the village. Wyrmlad survived the attack. Ever since then, he had built up hatred and sorrow, waiting for the day to get his revenge. He has also been training to become stronger and finding the finest armors and weapon. I love that lore. Definitely fitting for a monster that's super powerful, that has skills like this, that just wants revenge. And you can see it in the skills. Get out of my way, God's wrath. I think it definitely fits. Alright, let's see. Wyrmlad, a dragon, the son of General Dartmouth and Elvira, who had been kidnapped by elite monsters, training him to become the ultimate weapon to rule the world. I like that already too. Man, you guys are so creative. However, when Wyrmlad grew up, he realized that he was being used for bad deeds and decided to stop his masters. But when he confronted them, they put him under an ancient spell and he erased his memories, which fits the whole reason why we're making skills for him. Now Wyrmlad is searching for his identity to figure out what to do. Immune to all control skills. Love it, and I think you can add in a little status caster since he is an elite monster. Oh wait, there it is. Immunity to cooldowns activated to all allies and control immunity. Whoa, so basically, for the first turn, your whole team is immune to control, and you're also immune to cooldowns activated. You only have to worry about being total blinded, essentially. And that's awesome. Power 3730, life 32. This is a lot less than we've seen from other players. Definitely not next gen life stat, but this power stat, phenomenal. Speed 3453, that's balanced. Skills. Straight path removes positive effects from all enemies. See, we're seeing this so much. I love it. Removes negative effects from all allies. Deals insane special damage. Applies total blind and sunburn to all enemies. Alright. Anything activates cooldown on one enemy. I think this is the first cooldowns activated we've seen. So cool. Good job. First cooldown activated. Deals low light damage to all enemies. Applies sunburn and burning. Applies stamina regen and guard down to all enemies. I like this because you buff your team and then you debuff the enemy with a guard down. Special damage to an enemy applies low special damage. Very heavy light damage, activate cooldown. So we're going the AoE cooldown activator route. So he's an attacker, but he can also immobilize with cooldowns activated. Deals very heavy light damage to all enemies, applies total blind. Sorry, he's an attacker that can total blind and cooldowns activated. Removes positive effects from all enemies, deals insane light damage to one enemy. Health regen and stamina regen to itself, double damage to itself, and evasion to itself. So like an ultimate self skill right here. Deals heavy light damage to enemies, applies burn, sunburn, and ignite, and total blind. So yeah, we're seeing this so much. Resurrects one ally with 1% health. Wyrmlad life becomes 1% of his total life. This is new and unique and interesting. Resurrects one ally with 1% health. Wyrmlad, and then so you resurrect a monster with 1% of the health, and then Wyrmlad's life becomes 1% of his total life. Very interesting. Removes negative, next skill, removes negative effects from all allies, applies evasion for 2 turns, and then deactivates all cooldowns on one ally, gives ally triple damage and precision. Ally dies at the end of the turn, give extra turn to an ally. This is like some, what's his name, the dark monster, Warlock? No, this is like, I hope you guys know who I'm talking about. Comment below the name of the monster I'm talking about. But cool, pretty cool, sword and trap relic. And let's see. Draco Gaming. When Wyrmlad was young, his parents were killed by General Dartmouth, which led him to start hating dragons so much that he is now back to kill all dragons in his existence. Dang, I better watch out for Wyrmlad. He's coming after me next. Let's see. Good Legion, tough, Celestial. I like this. I feel like Celestial's fitting for a monster who's light. And yeah, he'd essentially be immune to stun, mega stun, and to sunburn. And area blind, so the enemy team starts off being blinded. 36 power, I think that's fitting. Life 38, I think that's what we've been seeing a lot. See, these stats I would say are pretty balanced, and I can definitely see it on this monster. Awakening resurrects one ally with 50% life, applies Dragon Hater and Precision. Why do I keep seeing that Awakening skill over and over and over again? Triple, I keep seeing the same stuff. What's going on? Alright, let's go down. Let's see. 35, 53, 38, 34, 76. Winterbuck. He probably does not fit. I disagree. I think he does fit. Escanor, I agree with you. I feel like this monster, I myself see him in the Winter book. But let me just tell you that no book has less than 50 monsters except Winter. We definitely need more monsters in there so we can strategize more in the Winter books. Tough and status caster Dragon Hater to himself only. I think you can probably make his trait a permanent Dragon Hater, because other monsters have permanent haters, and then you can do something else with the status caster if you wanted to. A special skill: the power of the dragon dragon. Oh man, that killed me. Removes positive effects from all enemies, deals massive special damage, applies sunburn, blind, and daze. This again preventing the enemy from essentially hurting you at all. Wyrmlad's Roar applies light weakness to all enemies. Setup skill, 50% chance of sunburn to all enemies, 50% chance of sunburn and blind to all enemies, and daze. Like with true vision, this would be deadly, but he's probably gonna have a better version, skills group 2 or 3. Heavy light damage applies sunburn and bleed. Moderate special damage applies precision and damage boost to all allies. Applies precision to one ally, gives dragon hater to one ally, gives 1 extra turn to that ally. Oh my god, the ultimate turn transfer skill to kill dragon monsters. Here's some increased accuracy, here's triple damage against dragon monsters, and here's an extra turn. Let's see, removes positive effects from all enemies, heavy light damage to all enemies, deals insane special damage to one enemy, apply dragon hater to himself, deals moderate special damage to all enemies, apply sunburn, bleed, and blind. There's that super minus accuracy where the enemies will not be able to touch you. Rank 1, Skywaker removes positive effects from all enemies, light damage, and disables traits. And I think I mentioned this before, I feel like that's a little too powerful. A little too powerful. I think eventually we'll see it, but right now, like what do the enemy monsters do once their trait is disabled, and like how do you block against that? But let's keep going. Rank 2, resurrects, drain 100% of your stamina, but it resurrects one ally with 50% life. You give precision, dragon hater, and a photophobic shield to the one ally and 1 extra turn. So basically whatever monster you resurrect, they're strong. They're gonna be deadly. And then your stamina cost is 0. So again, whatever stamina you're at, it takes it all the way to 0. So you can use it at 0 too, which is a cool thing. Rank 3, applies sunburn, bleed, and blind to enemies twice. So I like this. I think this is the first person to introduce something that can do it twice. So increases the likelihood of landing against monsters that have hardened and plus. And then rank 4, removes all negative effects from allies, applies a photophobic shield, immunity to control, protect positive effects. Nice. A very good anti-control skill. And then let's see, most skills names are on Welsh, got inspiration from Draco and Sonar. That's cool. So I love this. Good. This was a good suggestion. I'm thumbing. Oh yeah, I can do that now. I signed in. I'm gonna go back and thumbs up some of the other ones I liked. But let's keep going. This post was deleted. Looking down. Okay, George. Let's see, George. What do you have? Wyrmlad is the father and master of Talonay and the best dragon slayer. A day see that Elvira had a problem with Green Dragon and Frostwrath, and Wyrmlad went to save his friend. Ultimate attack. First, Dragon Hunter applies to itself Dragon Hater, and after that, do a high damage of light. 80 damage. Single target though? Applies Dragon Hater. I don't know if it's an AoE or a single target. Attacks, so these are default skills. Tier 1. Applies Dragon Hater to itself, spammable, and no stamina cost. Increased accuracy to our allies. Applies blind to one enemy. Eliminate negative effects to itself, and applies evasion to itself. I like that. Elvira's friend. Oh cool, he's like, I love the references to some of the War Masters. Remtar's enemy. Eliminate positive effects to one enemy and applies trait disable to one enemy. See, I like this because it's a single target, not an AoE target. Talonay's father applies to all enemies shock and special protection and special damage. And let's see. Light damage to one enemy, applies Dragon Hater. Baroness's lover restores cooldown to all allies. I love that you reference like a bunch of different monsters. Master Revenge, Good Father, Greedy Dragon Hunter. Alright, let's see. Applies positive random effect to itself. Applies allies to itself Dragon Hater. So I think Team Dragon Hater, Frostwrath's rival. Allies applies to itself. I think it's a Team Dragon Hater. Applies to all allies 50% damage buff and stamina. Applies to all enemies reduction 50%. So the enemies are 50% weaker. And this costs no stamina on 1 turn cooldown. Special damage to all enemies, applies an extra turn to itself and increased accuracy. Celebration time. Applies to all allies random positive effects. Triple damage, double damage, accuracy, evasion, or dodge area. And this is spammable. And this is to your whole entire team. Celebration time. By Remtar. Removes positive effects from all enemies, applies trait disable, and receive extra damage from light attacks, gives an extra turn to itself. Dracor's Master applies Mega Stun to all enemies. Cool, cool, good job with these suggestions. Going down, we have, let's see, we're on 35, we're on common 35. I'll end here, and we're probably going to have to do a part 3 and a part 4, because there's just so many, and these videos are getting way too long. Alright, let's see. Area Dodge, Self Status Caster Mirror, or Area Dodge plus Dragon Hater. When he was a child, Wyrmlad loved to play with his dragonian friends, Greedy Dragon and Dartmouth, and Megalostium. One of his friends betrayed him. I wonder who it was. Comment below who do you think it was that betrayed him and sent him in the light exile. There he became a light knight, but his biggest wish was to take revenge on all the dragons, got a dragonian armor, a spear, and started to hunt the traitors. Alright, so let's see. Die, traitor, don't hide. Here's what you deserve. Removes all positive effects from all enemies, disables straight on all enemies, deals massive light damage, applies sunburn and guard down to all enemies. See, for an ultimate, yeah, I can see that. Let's keep going. Oh, where's skills group 1? Oh, that was skills group 1. No, that was defaults. Missing skills group 1. But that's fine. 33% life shield and damage boost to one ally. Moderate light damage, 50% chance of applying burn and sunburn. Moderate special damage applies stun to all enemies. AoE stun. Flying won't save you. I love that. Flying won't save you, so let me stun you. Love that. 50% chance of killing instantly. You are the first to introduce something like this on Wyrmlad. Is it your lucky day? Or at least first that I've seen. Run Liars removes all positive effects on one enemy, deals massive light damage, applies ignition. Like that skill, it's very powerful. I thought we were friends. Disables traits on enemies, applies sunburn and stun to all enemies. Another AoE stun, but this time you also trait disable. So even if you're facing a Gortok, for example, sorry Gortok, you lose your trait. Now you can actually stun the enemies. You also apply sunburn. Bloody Spears, 50% chance of killing the enemy instantly. And if that 50% chance misses, well, the enemy's going to have a 3-turn death countdown. So that's pretty cool. Stab from behind. Oh, who's backstabbing now? Deals massive light damage to an enemy. Deactivate all cooldowns on one enemy. Deactivate all cooldowns? Or activate cooldowns? Big difference here. You might actually be helping them, even though you're stabbing them from behind. Sacred Armor applies evasion, triple damage, and true vision to one ally. Really amazing buff skill. Like, just because of this skill, this monster could be a support monster. Stay away from my friends. Massive special damage to all enemies. Removes 30% of stamina from all enemies. Applies stamina leak and nightmares. Huge on stamina draining while also giving yourself stamina regen. I like that. You're all mine. Deals massive magic damage. Ooh, magic damage. That's new. Applies possession. Whoa, this is a complete shocker. I didn't see this coming. Somehow Wyrmlad learned some magic arts and can now do magic damage and possession. He also applies shock and nightmares and removes negative effects from all allies. And applies immunity control to all allies. Wait, is that a regular skill? That kind of feels like an ultimate skill. So he can do AoE stun, AoE possession, and he has magic damage, he has light damage. That came out of nowhere. So we're gonna end here. Very unique, very interesting. Thank you to everyone who's been posting on the forum. And if you saw yourself in this video, comment below with a timestamp just so I can know who you are on the YouTube comment section versus who you are on the forum. And I hope you guys are enjoying this. Like I said, there's probably gonna be a part 3 and a part 4. And then we still got to go over Discord and Facebook. Oh, there's so much to do. There's so much fun stuff. But yeah, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you participate in this Creative Birthday Monster event that socialpoint is putting on for us so that you can have Wyrmlad exactly how you want him. With that being said, I'm Armor Gaming. Thank you all once again, and I will see you all very soon.